sounded decent. Just say stuff.
Like how decent? Like decent enough for a podcast?
I think so, especially our first episode. Hi, this is the Beer and Eggs podcast. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, my husband, Ryan.
Wow.
He's cringing.
I'm the beautiful co-host. Yes, I am the showgirl of the podcast.
I've been listening to a lot of Sheologians, so it just
So
feels natural to say that.
Is our opening guitar riff going to be better than theirs?
I hope so. That would be pretty cool.
That's a high bar to beat there.
Well, let's start out by introducing ourselves a little bit. You go first.
My name's Ryan.
We've established that.
Oh, yes. Okay. We live in... Wait, are we giving away where we live? How does this work?
We can say the state we live in. We can say the state we live in.
We hail from Kodiak, Alaska.
Alaska.
See, but that's a small island. We hail from Alaska. Yeah. It's raining, like usual.
We had an earthquake last night. At what was it, 1 a.m?
Yeah, I thought I was just having a fever dream.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you kind of were.
Basically.
He woke up at midnight and he's like, it's so cold. And he has 7 layers on. And I'm like, Ryan, you're going to be fine. It's not that cold. And if I'm saying it's not that cold, it really isn't that cold. Because I get cold very easily. Anyway, yes, you are Ryan and I am Jessica. We are married.
My lovely spouse, beautiful spouse, Jessica.
Oh, thank you. We've been married for 6 years. We've got 3 kiddos together. And yes, we live in Alaska. And it has been my dream since I met you, Ryan, to host a podcast with you. And so I'm very excited for today and for the future.
Yay.
And where this will take us. Yay. I think you can tell I'm a lot more excited than he is. But today we're going to be talking about, I was looking up different prompts, and this is the one that appealed to us the most. The prompt is, what's the worst movie you have seen recently?
Am I going first?
Yes, I think you should go first.
All right. Let's get this out of the way. All right. So I haven't seen many movies lately because I've been insanely busy. But I remember one that really just kind of left me confused. And that was the original John Wick movie.
Okay, I was gonna say, if it's the same movie as me, that would be pretty crazy.
Okay.
But I did not pick that one.
All right, we didn't tell each other beforehand which movies we were gonna do. But I think the thing that kind of threw me off on the John Wick movie is this character who they killed his dog, they beat him up and stole his car. But how many lives does that equate? He just goes on the offensive and murders I wonder what the body count is for that movie.
I bet you someone somewhere has counted.
Oh, dude.
Watched the movie and counted how many.
Yeah. There's got to be a good YouTube montage for that or something. But just how am I supposed to feel good for this guy when he's just murdering hundreds of people? Yeah.
See, I haven't seen that movie, so I kind of assumed it was supposed to be a satire, tongue in cheek, but is it supposed to be taken seriously?
No, there definitely is that element. It's it's just that violent feel-good movie. Have you ever craved just watching carnage? I don't know if this may be just a man thing.
I've never craved that.
All right, this is probably just a man thing, but you just want to sit back and watch someone else clear the room. I don't know.
That's fascinating. I didn't know this.
It's
if you are a man, can you confirm or deny this?
Okay, imagine it's October and you just start binging Hallmark Channel just you know, that deep desire for like really cringy Christmas love stories.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
yes,
like, it's
the
like
Hallmark movies.
It's like, what is that called? It's like a guilty pleasure thing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
There's like dudes, I think, watching these really terrible.
I can see that.
But yeah, but even this one, like normally it's well enough done or hidden. There's enough like good qualities in the character that you can kind of get over it. But for John Wick, I don't know. Like near the end, I was still like, somebody needs to take this dude out. He's too dangerous, and he clearly has no value for anyone's life whatsoever. And there's what, 2 or 3 more movies? I haven't seen those.
I have no
but
idea.
like, I don't know how you, because at some point you realize he's just a monster.
Well, I thought that was the point of the movies, is like you're rooting for him, and then at the end you're supposed to realize, wow, that was really unjustified.
I don't think so.
He's awful.
Because you have like TV shows like Dexter and like Breaking Bad, where
the
that's
anti-hero.
Yeah, like where like that's the intent, right? But John Wick, I feel like people are just always rooting for him. They're like, yep, everything he does is completely justified.
Well, I think that's the joke, right? Is like, well, is he like a really likable character? No? He doesn't have any redeeming qualities?
No, he had a dog and like a wife, but now they're gone. That's like
his only background.
That's his only backstory. And like, yeah, it's tragic. I'm not saying it's not tragic, but it's like, I don't know. It's like to its extreme.
I think a big part of it is probably the fact that Keanu Reeves plays the character. I think that has a lot to do with
Keanu.
Exactly. I think that's why people love the character, because they love Keanu. So
like, even him being in have you seen is it Cyberpunk or whatever?
No.
It was a huge flop of a game, and like no one was like, that's all Keanu's fault. They were just like, yeah, it's fine. Which he wasn't developing it; he was just sponsoring it or whatever. But yeah, Keanu can basically do no wrong.
I guess
at this point in time.
I'm trying to think in my mind of all the Keanu movies I've seen now.
There's like The Matrix. There's
I really liked Point Break.
Oh, Point Break.
I did like him in that. Did you know he was in remember that one movie that I started watching with the kids, and then I was like, this is kind of weird, Babes in Toyland?
Oh yeah,
he's in that. Yeah.
Like young Keanu.
Yeah, very, very young baby Keanu.
I don't think I watched the whole thing because it was a little too weird.
Yeah, I remember watching it as a kid and thinking it was cool, and then I went back to watch it with the kids, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't know if I want to watch this. But yeah, Keanu's
just going down the rabbit hole of Keanu now. We're like, where did he come from?
Oh my gosh, Trace's whole acting career from day one.
Yeah, Point Break's, I think, a little underrated. It's definitely got some of those like cringy moments,
but they make it good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, like there's a certain amount of cringe in a movie that if it has that, it's actually
you just
better.
Give it a pass.
Yeah, like it. Yeah,
it's just the way
enjoyable.
It was. It's a different time.
Different time. It's a 90s movie, right?
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't know.
I love 90s movies.
All right, what was yours?
Okay, well, mine you have also seen. We watched it together. Let's see. Keegan was probably an infant when we saw it. It is called The Titan. Do you remember this?
Oh.
It was released in 2018. It is a sci-fi thriller, and it stars Sam Worthington. Right. So if that gives you any idea of what kind of movie this is.
We can also tell now who took actual notes for this show.
I did my research.
Oh, so, yeah, that was such an odd...
There's a lot of problems with this movie.
Like, what kind of values? Yeah.
I really wanted to like it because of the description. Let me read you the short synopsis of it.
Yeah, and then we got to go over the plot, too, for people.
Yes.
I'm sure just everyone's seen this movie and absolutely loves it.
It's okay, so this is what the description that I found online. In the near future, Earth's resources are exhausted, and humanity's only hope of salvation lies in traveling to a distant planet. A military family is relocated so they can participate in an experiment into man's genetic evolution in space. which will be vital to ensure that the human race survives the journey. Now, doesn't that sound interesting? Like, I am a fairly big sci-fi fan, and so that does sound really interesting to me. It's a good premise.
It would sound interesting if I hadn't seen the movie. Now I'm just like, I see how all of these things could relate to it, but in a really terrible and not maybe well thought out to some, but yeah, just a weird movie.
Yeah, like, I mean, the premise is kind of weird. Like, from a Christian standpoint, it's just, like, super anti-Christian. But, I mean, you can have a movie that's, like, not from a Christian worldview that's still objectively a good movie. Like, entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Like, Interstellar. I would say the whole...
Ooh,
yeah, you know what I mean. We can get into that later, maybe.
Interstellar's great.
But that's a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
All right, let's go over the plot of this movie, though, real quick. So, basically... there's, like, the synopsis or whatever. But... essentially, it's just this, like, dude. He's in this program. They're injecting them with different animals' DNA. Spoiler alert. They're injecting them with, like, different animals' DNA to force them to, air quote, evolve into something that could live on, Titan, right?
Yeah. Is that Titan? Saturn's
one of the moons, yeah.
One of Saturn's moons?
I don't know if it's Saturn. It's just
It's Titan. Some other planet's moon that, I guess, is possibly able to sustain life. But just not us, or no?
Well, they
have to evolve humanity to make the journey to Titan, right?
No. So they are evolving humanity so that they can live in the environment.
In that
is
environment,
Titan.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's still not habitable,
and
they're just trying to force us to be able to live there by these genetic experiments.
Yeah. So they're trying to, like, take that environment and make us be able to live there. While also simultaneously, because, like, they can still live on Earth. Like, he's still able to move, near the end of the movie, he's still able to move around, breathe regular air, and, like, communicate, or whatever, kind of. But, basically, all these guys start getting, like, really aggressive. They're all fighting, and there's a lot of accidents, a lot of them die. And basically, the whole movie is about you losing your humanity so that you could become something else to live on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I just remember the end scene, and it's just, like, he's, like, flying on Titan.
Oh, you stole my thunder. I was going to say
sorry.
that part.
even though, like, none of that was possible on Earth. And the fact that they've like, altered him so crazy far that he can live on Titan, yet he doesn't die on Earth. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that part didn't. So there's a lot of problems that I have with this movie, and I've kind of made a list of them. But first of all, this movie does not deliver what it promises. So, oh, you're gonna go grab the baby? Yep.
No, I was gonna close the
crying.
door. Or do you want me to get the baby?
No, it's okay. You can close the door. She'll be fine.
We'll edit this all out. It's fine.
So, yes, the movie sounds cool. It sounds like a sci-fi adventure. But the entire movie, except for maybe the last 1 minute of the film, is set on Earth. So there's really no space travel.
No, none.
It's like, and it takes so long for the plot to get started. It's like almost an hour into the film, if I remember correctly, where they're just filming like, oh, he's changing. Ooh, it's so crazy. And his wife's like, what are you doing to him? And the whole time I'm thinking, like, you literally signed up to be experimented on. Like, and now you're shocked that you're changing?
They lied to him,
why would you be so shocked about it?
If I remember correctly, they kind of lied to him because they were telling him that his family was going to get to go with him. Like, once they figured out whatever they needed to figure out for him, the rest of humanity was going to follow. They were supposed
to be able to, which, I mean, that's a little ignorant on their part, I guess. Like, you're messing with genetics, but...
Things that were largely unsuccessful.
But that gets into my second problem, which is this film is... The tone is so off. Like, I think it could have worked as a horror film.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he thinks he's going to save humanity. He turns into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. That would work.
Yeah.
But it doesn't play out that way. the ending is so bizarre and so like tone deaf because he just ends up being this humanoid alien creature who they send him off to Titan anyway because that's where he belongs now, quote. And the last scene of the film is just him on this rock thing, and then he just like flies like into like this valley on Titan, and I'm like, so he's no longer human and he's alone. Like,
oh yeah, all the other test subjects died.
Yes, because all the other test subjects either died or like, you know, during the testing, or they got shot because they ended up being too aggressive. Like,
well, yeah, they were trying to like.
But the thing is like at the end, like, what am I supposed to feel now? Happy? Shocked? He's like over there alone. Like, it's just so bizarre.
Well, I can tell you what they want you to think. They want you to be like, ah, yes, the new start of like evolution.
Oh yeah,
it's
of
like,
course that's what it has to be.
The world is going to be changed by this like one new.
Yeah, we're going to evolve ourselves now.
That hilariously was created.
Oh, that gets into my next point. Okay, ready?
Go for it.
The science in this is so bad. Like, I have to describe to you how he looks. So when they're done like genetically altering him, he has like this translucent gray blue skin. He has like, his ears are just holes in his head, and his middle finger and his index finger are like glued together. And when I went back and I was looking at the pictures to take notes for this, it just hit me like how dumb that is, because like to even think that we could like improve on how we are, how God made us, is just incredibly stupid to me. Like, what about that would make us, I mean, I know it's supposed to be like, oh, living on another planet, but it's like, it just struck me how crazy it is, like, that God made us and gave us mechanisms so perfect for life here. Like, we don't need to evolve. There's no improving on what God has already made in us. You know what I'm saying? Well, I just got super deep.
Well, like, well, it shows how futile, I guess, in this universe, this movie's universe, it really was for them to change this guy.
And that's why the ending's so weird, because it plays it off like his wife looks up at the sky and she's like smiling, and I'm like, there's nothing to be happy about here. I wouldn't be happy.
No, and he's not human anymore.
You're no longer human.
They've destroyed that
point.
And it's like a Frankenstein. You know, it's
yeah,
maybe some resemblance of what he used to be, but he's not able to even exist on Earth anymore, really.
Yeah.
Because of the aggression and everything. And the funny part to me was too, like, economically speaking, all these test subjects die, largely failed experiment in anyone else's eyes, and they still send him to Titan. Like, they still spend how many millions of dollars?
Yeah,
like,
how
yep,
much
you
equipment
could still
did that
go.
take?
They probably are touting that they succeeded.
Yeah. Well, the kicker is he's alone too. Like, because towards the end of the film, there was that other female, like, test subject.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, that would kind of suck for his wife, I guess. But like, if they were both able to make it, I guess they could repopulate over on Titan, but he can't even do that because he's alone.
Well, I mean, they'll just make another one.
Unless he can somehow, well, good luck redoing that experiment.
It turned out so well the first time.
It was like 1 out of 12 people was successful.
Yeah, like 10 or 12, I think. Maybe less. But.
And like, some of the test subjects were like killing their family members and stuff because of the aggression. So it's like, you would not want to redo this realistically.
Yeah, not only was it like aggression, but I think it was like it's almost like they gave him like a predator's instinct, and so if they saw that they could be like the top mammal or whatever, that they needed to attack the lower subjects. It was weird. They played into a lot of the different like alien, because it's basically what they were at the end, were like aliens.
It was like Frankenstein, but Frankenstein's more evolved, and he's gonna give us hope for our future to survive.
Well, it was literally like
like,
saying
wait.
Frankenstein was the pinnacle of evolution, basically, as they like sewed him back together.
Yeah, something that man has made is gonna be the pinnacle of creation.
Yeah, that was a really bad movie.
Yeah, I remember like just being so frustrated, and then the part where he flies, it's like probably like 30 or 15 seconds before like, you know, the end scene. Or
we don't even get to see Titan either, by the way.
No,
like you see
it's just
one
like
rock,
bare mountains and a rock.
bare mountain, yeah, and that's it. Like you don't get to explore Titan, you don't get to go on any adventures with the character. The whole
you don't even really get to see what he can do.
No, the whole thing is just about them supposedly testing him, which they don't even show that either. Testing on him, it's just like him coming home and him being like, I've changed.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, he does like have a couple scenes that I remember in like a pool, like he can hold his breath for
where
so
they're
long.
holding their breath. Like that's as exciting as it gets. Or them. Well, I guess they kind of go on like a killing spree with their like. Isn't there like a thing in their wrist?
Yeah, they have some weird tentacle things that come out of their hands or something.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch it again.
No.
Just to torture ourselves.
No. You're just gonna. It's gonna be like 11:30 at night. You can be like, I can't sleep, and just put on.
Hey
Titan,
Ryan, let's watch this together.
No,
but I was saying like that end scene where he flies. I was already so frustrated that when I saw him flying, I just like lost it. I just started like laughing so hard that I cried. Do you remember that?
No.
It was so hilarious to me. I was like, oh, and he freaking flies. Whoop-de-doo. Like, that got me.
I probably was saying something like, "What? Why are you laughing? It's such a great movie, Jess."
It's like supposed to be this like just inspirational moment, and like the music is soaring, and I'm like, you are kidding me.
We should talk about a good movie.
That would be a good way to end this.
What makes Interstellar? Is that what we're going with? Or you could go with what is Arrival?
Oh, Arrival's a good one.
Really
okay,
good.
You know what I'm gonna say right off the bat is the emotional honesty of both those films, because you can have a great action film, sci-fi film, but what makes a good film is the people, the characters, and their relationships with each other. So like think about it. Arrival is about her and her daughter and her future daughter and her what is he? I guess just a partner, a science partner.
You know what's weird about Interstellar though?
And then Interstellar is like a father and daughter story.
Yeah, but he leaves her.
Oh yeah.
It was, and then we're supposed to like feel bad for him.
Yeah, because you know why? They put in a lot of work in building that relationship before he leaves, to where you actually care when he leaves.
Yeah,
like I remember crying seeing that. Maybe not like sobbing, but I like got teary-eyed.
That happens to you a lot.
I do get very emotionally like invested in films.
No, but he like leaves her. Oh, I guess. Okay, wait. He thought he was gonna come back.
He did.
He did.
He didn't
and then they
think
were like,
he was leaving
just
for
kidding.
forever.
We don't have enough fuel to ever come back.
Yeah. Well, what I loved about Interstellar too is I kept thinking, okay, this is the part where it ends, and I'm just supposed to make up the rest in my head. But it kept going beyond what I thought was going to be the ending, and that was really satisfying. It was really satisfying that he got to meet her again. What was her name? Murph. He did get to see her again, even though she was older.
Yeah.
Interstellar spoilers. And then you got to see just so much more. Whereas, like, with Titan, he lands on the planet, or he gets there, and that's just it. They're like, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, it definitely left more to be desired, and then Interstellar just really wraps it all up, and maybe doesn't answer all your questions, but it answers enough.
Yes. Yeah. And then in Arrival, like you were saying, I guess Arrival is like a sci-fi thriller too.
I would lump it in there with
I really liked that one because of the twist ending. Do you remember?
I don't even remember the twist ending.
Okay, well, spoilers, but so she realized, so you think this whole time that she had a daughter that she lost.
Yeah. But
the daughter that she had lost, she didn't even have her until she meets that guy. And that's the daughter's father. Yeah, so it's like, because it's supposed to be like a loop.
Yeah, as she's learning the language, that one I think deals with concepts that maybe I just haven't watched it as many times, but for everyone who's like super into science or whatever, they'll be like, oh yeah, Interstellar is like, you know, on the nose for like string theory and all this stuff. But I think the concepts in Arrival were much more complex in the idea of like how language messes with people's brains. Because there's even, you like when you learn a new language, your inflection changes, and there's been studies out there that say even like the way you process information changes based on like the language that you're using to process.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned that in the film, and I didn't know that before, and that was really interesting.
Yeah, obviously not to the extent that you can like subvert time.
Well, sure, but that's a really good way of like using something that is true in reality and then stretching it just enough to make a really good like improbable story. But it's like fascinating.
See, now I want to just watch Arrival again.
It's a great movie.
Because it's been a while.
My problem with a lot of sci-fi movies, though, is literally when it comes down to it, the whole thing is, oh, humans are gonna die, so we gotta save ourselves. Which is exciting in a movie, but it's so disconnected from reality.
So Interstellar ties into that really hard, right? Because the ones who put the wormhole there is actually humanity as they've ascended or whatever. But Arrival's different. The aliens are coming to help humanity so that humanity can help them later. So it's like a contractual thing. Yes,
but I think the whole thing is it is contractual, but they come to help us because, oh, we're going down because of like climate change or something, right? It's literally always climate change. That's the reason for every sci-fi film. I think so. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't remember exactly what.
Oh, maybe it was. I think the aliens just like helped to unite humanity, right? Because they saw we were all so divided. I don't know.
I forget. Yeah, what was the actual threat there, other than the aliens? Because I thought they were just studying, or were they giving us knowledge so that when we come to our barriers, we could overcome them?
Probably.
And then ascend to whatever they needed us to do later.
I think that was probably it.
Okay, maybe that's what. Because there wasn't like an actual threat. Or like a. It wasn't a threat to the Earth, other than the aliens being there and everyone thinking that the aliens were gonna destroy us or something.
But like, even with that strange premise, kind of like either aliens saving us or us saving ourselves, that's still a good movie because it was done super well. Like, whereas the Titan, I don't know if it was a lack of budget. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming they had plenty of money.
Budget cuts. We're in a recession.
But something did not go right there, either in the writing room or in execution.
I mean, it wasn't supposed to be like a super high profile movie.
No,
was
it just happened. Like, I never even heard of it. We just saw it, I think, on Netflix one day, and we watched it.
Well, that's how you know
but,
it's good.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix.
Well, I mean, have you ever really seen a Sam Worthington movie that was, like, really good?
Isn't he in something else that's really good?
He's in Avatar.
Avatar! That's like the highest grossing film of ever.
No, wasn't a fan.
Really?
Not a fan.
There's the second one's coming out. They're doing another one.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't bad. Like, I wasn't super excited after I saw it.
That was a weird one, too.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, almost implying that, like, I guess religions are, like, planet-based. Have you ever thought about that?
No. I don't think I've seen the whole thing, actually.
Really? So there's, like, the whole tree thing, and they call it Awa or whatever, or something like that. And it's, like, where they go when they die. They're like little hair things. They attach it to the tree, and it's like their collective, like, subconscious is uploaded into this thing, this tree network, which is the planet, because all the trees are connected or whatever. So you become part of the planet, right? So their like religion, I guess if you call it, is serving their planet, and when they die, they get uploaded into or reabsorbed into the planet or whatever.
Interesting.
But
okay.
it was interesting that their highest power for like the blue people, whatever they're called. I don't remember what
Blue
they're called.
people, yeah.
The blue people is the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So like even knowing that these dudes, these like space marines or whatever from another planet, their like highest person or being is their planet, which I thought was interesting that didn't change the way that they processed or thought about their own existence.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I don't know.
This is why
It was a weird movie.
This is why I like Christopher Nolan films, because I feel like he thinks about those things. Full fleshed out universes.
Yeah.
Usually. Or from what I've seen.
Well, I wish that Did he didn't do the Avatar, did he?
I don't think so.
No. See, now I just want to pull it up here. Hold on. Interwebs.
I love how talking about 2 films ended up talking about 5.
Oh yeah, the Avatar 2 is coming out in 2022.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that came out in 2009.
Yeah, 2009, dude.
Gosh, we were...
It's James Cameron.
We were
He's the
freshmen...
guy who did the Titanic.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's probably why it's so good.
Yeah, we were freshmen in high school when this movie came out. That's so long ago.
2009?
Yeah.
Ew.
I know.
That was a long time ago.
It's before we were even dating.
Yeah, but the blue people... Yeah, James Cameron.
Okay.
So...
Interesting.
You know what its budget was?
What?
Dude, $237 million. Guess how much it made?
What, like twice that?
What, more?
3 times that?
Yeah.
I'm forcing you to do math now.
Yeah.
How much did it make?
$2.8 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And then
I
next
remember
one's coming
the
out in
hype.
2022.
I remember the hype. Do you remember that? All that? Everyone's like, oh, you have to go see it.
Dude, I'm hyped. I'm hyped about the second
Oh my
one.
gosh. Okay.
I'm sorry. Hopefully it's as good as the first one. I thought the first one was great at like world building. It was... The relationships were a little bit lacking, I think. But like the world building and the fully fleshed out like the why they were there to get the unobtainium or whatever was pretty normal, like humans destroy everything, you know. And the idea that they're trying to protect their planet's fairly noble, you know, even if they're not willing to like, you know, whatever, like get like imperialism or whatever to get what is that called? Like absorbed into the human race basically or whatever.
Oh yeah. You know, I heard the biggest criticism I heard of that film was that it's basically Pocahontas. But I mean, that could be cool. It just
It's like Reverso Pocahontas.
Like I said, it was an okay movie. I wasn't super excited about
Like
it, but it wasn't a bad movie.
I think the main
in my
character
opinion.
gets like he just stays there and he gets his legs back too. So
Oh, well, I guess
it's like Lieutenant Dan. He's got new
next
legs.
year we will once again see Sam Worthington be blue.
Yeah, but I
That'll
don't
be
think he's gonna have
interesting.
wings. He does have a flying thing though. Remember that those like pterodactyl looking things?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. All right. Well, I think we've exhausted this subject.
Yep.
Uh-huh. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Should we decide on a subject for next week, or should we just show up next week and talk about whatever we want again?
I think we just show up next week.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hope everyone enjoyed listening, if you listened at all.
Oh, if you have a suggestion for something for us to talk about, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I'm not sure how long the comments will be open, because my experience with YouTube in the past is that people get really weird, especially if you are a small channel. People get really stocky.
If you turn it off, if you close it for comments, you don't even see the other comments anymore. They're just all gone.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
There are some weirdos though, for sure.
Well, if the comments are open, leave a comment of what you want us to talk about. Otherwise, we'll see you
in the next one.
Yep, next one.
Bye.
See ya.